After what I experienced in week 67, week 68 had nowhere to go but up, right? I'm Charles. I'm also known as the Round Mountain Zepbound. Welcome. Now, before I get into my summary of my 68 week on this journey, I do want to take a moment because I completed my treatment for prostate cancer during this week. Monday, which was the 28th of April, was my last treatment. I am thankful for the support of my wife, my kids, my family, and also of you, my community. I went through 9 weeks, 45 treatment sessions while continuing to work, while continuing my GLP-1 journey. As I went through this process, I had a few days where I was dealing with a significant amount of fatigue. I fought through it, and I didn't miss any days of work. And here I am, still standing. As I went through my treatment process, there was an older gentleman that I connected with. His appointment was always immediately following mine. He started a little bit before me, and him and his sweet wife cheered me on as I cheered him on. I'll call him Mr. B. I was really surprised to hear how old he was because he didn't look like it at all. I overheard him talking to the radiologist, and he gave his birthday, and I was amazed when he mentioned that his birth year was 1939. So he was born 10 years before my dad, making him 86 years old. And again, he didn't look anything close to it. I would have guessed that he was probably 10 to 15 years younger. Now, because he started before me, he finished treatment a few days before me. So I stayed after my treatment on his final day to celebrate with him and his wife as he rung the bell. It was such a special moment. And on top of that, Mr. and Mrs. B came back when it was my turn for me to ring the bell. Man, I really appreciated that so much. I just cannot put it into words. My wife and I will definitely stay in contact with Mr. and Mrs. B. I'm getting a little emotional talking about it because it was really a special moment that I got to share with him. He got to share with me and we shared it together with our families. And I found out in the process that Mr. B is a barbecue connoisseur like myself. So we'll probably exchange some barbecue techniques. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into the week. Now, I was excited for the week for an obvious reason, but this week was also going to give me an opportunity to see where my actual weight was. I was seeing so many fluctuations due to my treatment causing my constipation to increase. I had an exit appointment with the oncologist on my final treatment day, and we actually talked about this, and they expected it to quickly resolve, as did I, because I saw that to be the case as I was going through the treatment process, and I got to the weekend where I wasn't getting radiation beamed into my body. And as expected, it resolved itself pretty immediately, and it showed in my weight right away. I weighed in at 201.9 to wrap up week 67, and then I weighed in daily for week 68 just to see how things would go with me just having one day of treatment this week. I wanted to document that. So on Saturday, I weighed in at 201.1 with a body fat percentage of 19.2. On Sunday, I dipped down into Wonderland again, 199.5 with a body fat percentage of 19.1. And that morning, when I hopped on the scale, I decided to not go to the gym. It was my normal workout day, but because my number was what it was on the scale, I decided to take the day off. And then on Monday, the scales read 197.7 with a body fat percentage of 18.9. Now, this was my lowest weigh-in on this journey ever. And when I saw the number that morning, I made up in my mind that I just wasn't going to work out at all the entire week because I didn't want to create a significant calorie deficit. And I also just wanted to give my body a much-needed break. Then on Tuesday, I weighed in at 198.3, again, a body fat percentage of 18.9. Wednesday, 198.8, another body fat percentage of 18.9. And then Thursday, 199.6 with a body fat percentage of 19%. And today, my official weigh-in day, I am at 199.8 with a body fat percentage of 19. So with the exception of Saturday's weigh-in, every weigh-in this week was in Wonderland. So for someone who didn't want to go into Wonderland, I'm spending a hell of a lot of time there. They just might start charging me rent how much I'm hanging out in Wonderland. So as I have been speculating, my weight is pretty much holding up around 200 pounds, give or take here or there, using the 10 milligram dose weekly, and that is currently working real well for me. My food noise is well controlled. I am not seeing a significant drop in weight. Just some incremental stuff that goes back and forth, which works fine for me. Now, I want to emphasize that at this point for me, the weight isn't the most important thing. I just want to make sure that I stay within a certain range, so I'm not fluctuating up and down in significant amounts. The most important thing for me right now is that my health has done a complete 180. Now, I do mention the number on the scale only to give everyone an idea of how maintenance is and how challenging it can be, trying to figure out the right dose to stop the weight loss but control the unnatural hunger and control the food noise. Now, hunger is a good thing if it's the normal hunger cues. And then you must also factor in your workouts to make sure you are staying out of a calorie deficit. A lot of moving parts here that you do not consider when you're in the active weight loss process. The scale is just one data point out of many. So what is your blood pressure? What does your blood work show? How many inches have you lost? What is your body composition? Are you losing muscle? Are you gaining muscle? Or are you maintaining muscle? So while you will hear me call out these numbers on the scale, it's just for informational purposes, and it's not something that I'm really stuck up on, other than making sure that I maintain within a range and to give you, those of you that may be going into maintenance or are looking forward to maintenance, to give you an idea of what you may or may not have to deal with, because everyone's journey is different. Now, in summary, my weight for week 68 was 199.8, so that is a 2.1 pound loss from last week. This moved my total loss to 115.3 since starting my GLP-1 journey back on January 12th of 2024, and that represents a 36.6% loss from my starting weight of 315.1. Now, I'm 6'2", so my BMI, which is now at 25.7, is down from 40.5. My scale measured my body fat percentage at 19%. My blood pressure was 104/65 this morning. Additionally, I'm down 158 from my highest weight of 358 in 2015. That represents a 44.2% loss from that highest weight. So, thanks for checking in with me this week. I hope you all are doing well on your own personal journeys. And as always, I will see you in the comments.